Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy, Jez7780, with another What Grinds My Gears, episode 32. We're going to be talking about Spider-Man Puddles, Xbox Hardcore, they own it, Conan Greenberg, and the Elite Bull that we got over the last week. But yeah, sorry I couldn't join playing Xbox last night, guys. I was flying back from California. Yes, I was on the plane. I know I tried to jump into the chat using my free Wi-Fi. Shout out to T-Mobile giving some free Wi-Fi there for an hour on the plane. I tried using that. I couldn't watch any of the videos, so I was trying to react to what was going on in the chat, and I figured I'd just crack some jokes while I'm just sitting there staring at the chat and sitting in the back of a plane next to crying babies and a person in the middle seat who didn't bring any entertainment and was just like moving around the whole time. I tell you, if you're going to sit in the middle seat, you better bring some entertainment. You better just sit there and just look around, like look over the shoulders and stuff. Man, that was a nice 5 hours. But anyway, yeah, I jumped on. I couldn't jump on to the guys. I know like Merc put in the chat where I was. Nobody mentioned on the podcast that I wasn't on it. I guess you guys are shouting out for me in the chat. But I guess they just moved ahead with it like I wasn't there. So yeah, it sucked that I missed it. Yeah, I definitely wanted to chime into some of the conversation. But you know, I figured I'll do some of the stuff here on what some of my impressions on the news and things like that. Like I'm not here really to cover the news. Like I figured, people have seen it, belabored it, have formed their own opinions on it. So this is just my opinion and what kind of my take on all this rigmarole and you know where I come from with this stuff. So, yep. Hopefully I might be on next week. We'll see on playing Xbox. But yeah, shout out to those guys. Boomstick was on there. Very optimistic Xbox new fan with the stuff. He's a good guy. Go check out his channel. But like and subscribe over here if you want kind of the real deal and my personal feelings on all this bull. So the first thing we're gonna do. So I was out traveling and I saw on Twitter, Smooth Kofi starting it with the with the screenshot. Then I saw Kofi stream live when when you're streaming, then apparently I guess he got taken. They got it taken down. He got a hit on it. They got a flag on him, so they're trying to get that back up. But yeah, I watched that and his impressions and stuff like that. And I saw the screenshot. I saw it all over Twitter. I liked it. I saw what it was. And, the screenshot that was going around of Spider-Man on the thing, and I'm not going to show it here. You guys know what we're talking about. The one scene where they showed in the beginning demo when they first showed it at E3, and the before and after. I think that the hilarity to the whole thing was obviously the photos are different. And this is my take on it. The photos are different. And the previous one obviously looks better. It has more puddles, but not only the puddles, but it's the reflections of everything in the environment in the puddles. And now in the recent one, they showed that the puddles have been taken away. There's also less shadowing, stuff like that. Obviously, it definitely has been toned down in that photograph. And I think the funniest thing that I found with this whole thing was the community manager coming out and just being like, it's not downgraded, it's lighting, because obviously the objects have been moved, the environment had been adjusted in addition to lighting and other things. It wasn't just the moving of the sun. But I think just them coming out kind of made it a little more jokingly. Like I don't think they should have really responded to it, because actually no media outlets have been picking this up really. It's really just been kind of within the Twitter community. There hasn't been too much stuff, and I'll put up the chat over here. Yeah, don't worry, I'll get to that. That's what I'm saving that one for the end. But what's up, guys? So, I think that was the funny thing, that the community manager kind of was going back at it and stuff like that, and just saying it was lighting and stuff. Obviously, the screenshot is different in those two screenshots. Now, whether you could confirm that it is a downgrade for the entire game, is the whole game like it looked one way and now it looks a totally different, that's where I think it's kind of a bit challenging, because I know they showed a whole scene on that at E3, and I only seen like 1 or 2 shots before and after. But regardless of that, the game is, and this is where I would say exclusives kind of show there's nowhere else to play this game. So there's no like, oh, well, that's what the PC version looks like, and this is what the PlayStation version is great. Downgrade. It's not, it's downgraded through development, but whatever you're playing is going to be the best that you can play and the only place that you can play. And that's where I always find where an exclusive can't really, it could be critiqued on itself on how it worked, but if it runs better somewhere else, like if that first screenshot was Spider-Man running on a PC like that and then running on the console, that could be something where like, oh, wow, there's something going on there. But when you look at this game, it only could play it here. Obviously, it's going to look the best that it can look on that. And we all know E3 demos are the best. They show it the best. And come on, we go back to the Halo 2. They showed a whole part of a game that was not even made in the game. They just made that demo for E3. That whole new Barbossa on Halo 2 was never in the game. Never in Halo 2. And then what about the Killzone 2? CGI, and Sony was like, this is on a PlayStation 3. And then they show it on PlayStation 3 and it mimicked that, but it was not looking that smooth, or it was CGI basically. And then they said it was gameplay, and then it would turn out not to be gameplay. That whole Killzone 2 thing. Hey, yes, Meds Halo 5, Mischief and a Poncho. That wasn't even a demo. That was just a CGI. But I'm talking about New Barbossa for Halo 2. That gameplay demo that they played was just built for E3. We've seen this on number 10. Watch Dogs is a perfect example of how games change throughout development. And when they maybe made that Spider-Man thing for that, they were running it. They made that demo look the best. That snippet. Maybe in the relative play of the game, now you're playing the game, and now that snippet now is part of the game. They had to make adjustments. But there's no way going to go like, and I think. And what Smooth said, what's his thing, at the end of his video, he didn't say that the game is going to be bad, and he didn't say that he actually changed the tone throughout the course of the video, and at the end he was basically like, it's a change. It's maybe not a downgrade, it's a change. But whatever it is, it's different in that screenshot. Relative to the full game, we'll see. And next week we're going to get tons of screenshots. I'm going to be taking screenshots. Everybody be taking screenshots. And from the screenshots that I've seen people take, game looks sick. Like it looks amazing. And looks only goes so far, but the transversal and how they nailed that, and the enemies and the way the story goes, the collectibles, the suits with that, it basically, this thing is going to be like an incredible Spider-Man game, and I'm really hyped for it. I don't give a it is what it is. The photo did what it do. I don't think that it's going to influence any game scores like that. If anybody was hoping that like this was going to be kind of a puddle gate type thing, and this is not going to be a puddle gate type, and this is going to kind of transcend and affect reviews. I don't think that's going to happen. Because again, it's kind of the visuals, and technically when you look at reviews, it's technically not the visuals unless they get some sort of like things that game. It's really when gameplay gets downgraded, gameplay or abilities or features. When those things get downgraded, where they promise you something up front, and then they show the game and it doesn't have that feature, those are the kind of things that go, oh, you promised us this but didn't get that. And graphic downgrades technically don't really affect the scores or things like that. And the game goes through development, but there's no doubt that there was differences between the original photo and that other photo, and not just the puddles, and it's not just the lighting. But regardless of that, the game looks incredible. The game looks really good from the screenshots. And, I haven't been watching too much on it because I just want to experience it for myself and see how it goes. But I think, the hype is still there. The marketing is going to be insane next week. Like, it's going to be all about Spider-Man starting on when the embargo lifts. And it's going to be insane when people start dropping reviews. And I really, what's up, everybody? Andrew Wilkins, Erica, Top Dog, Gameplays, Meds, Stardust, and Danny. What's up? Steven, Kingpin, Spider, and the Coon. But yeah, man, thanks for coming out. But that's my take on it. There's no difference on the thing. The developers stating it, they're going to definitely upsell their game and, definitely not say, oh, yeah, our game took a downswing, a downturn. But, there's been tons of examples of E3 demos not matching up to the final gameplay. What's up, Frogs? How you doing, man? But, there's a lot of situations like that. And, we'll see. We'll see how it looks. I want to see, it doesn't matter. Show me befores and afters and stuff like that. Like, I sort of downgrade and CFDs when they first showed it, and then they show the game. Game still look good. The content they promised wasn't there. State of K2 different. That thing changed. A lot of things. A lot of God of War. I thought kind of looked the same. Like didn't look that much different. You can nitpick stuff out of videos, but E3 demos are going to be usually running on unlimited power, dev kits, things like that to show it the best. And who knows, Last of Us, they said that those animations there was some scripting in that demo, but that game looked incredible. If it does half of that stuff, like that game's going to be sick. But, yeah, so like, I don't know, what kind of Last of Us will look like, Ghost of Tsushima, all those demos, and, we'll see what they are. But the thing is, if that's the only place that you could play it, you're getting the best version of that game. And that's always been kind of the problem I always had with Microsoft putting their exclusives on PC was that it will play better over there. So there could be like, you talk about Forza coming out, there could be a better version out there, maybe that has more puddles, has more reflections, has more ambient inclusion. And that's kind of a downfall to releasing this on multiple platforms. And nonetheless, the PC unlimited power on that one. But whereas the Sony games, they are only playable. That's the only place to play Spider-Man. There's no better version out there. So when you boot up that game when it comes out, you got the best. That's the best. And maybe the devs had a version out there, but like you got the best version of it. And that's something to in the back of your head to realize like there's not a better version of that game. So when you're sitting there playing it on your TV, that is the best it's ever going to look to the consumer. Whether they showed scenes before, whether they showed scenes now, show scenes in 2017, 2016, 2015, like you got the best version. And that's the power of the exclusive and being a console exclusive. You always got the best version. You got the best version of God of War. You got the best version of Detroit Become Human. You can't say that with some of the recent Xbox games. You don't have the best version of State of the K2. You don't have the best version of Sea of Thieves. You don't have the best version of Quantum Break. You don't have the best version of Gears of War 4. And that's because the best versions are on PC. Now, whether you could boot them up and play them on PC, that's another story. But there's a lot of power in exclusives. And if you're worried about having the best, Spider-Man is going to be the best when it comes out because it's the only place to play it. And there's a power to that. And there is a peace of mind to people that are worried about this stuff. You're playing the same game. If you're playing on a pro, you're playing the best version of it. You play on the slim, you're playing on the right step below that. But that's where it kind of falls in that stuff. So in my opinion, definitely do it different in the photographs. Definitely reflections, things like that were changed, shadows in that photograph. You cannot say the whole game has been downgraded from that one photo. That scene might have been changed and adjusted, and puddles moved, the lighting changed, things like that. Shadows affected. Textures, who knows? Between two photos. But whether you say the whole game is, I don't think so. For people been hinting at and stuff like that, I think the game is actually amazing. Like, and what are you comparing it to? To a previous version of it 4 years ago? that nobody ever played. So that's what I mean. Like, it's really no point. You know, if it was somewhere else that looked better and it looks bad on the PlayStation, then you could say the system's not optimized for it, but you're playing the best on it. And that's the power of exclusives. And, you know, Microsoft needs to realize that, I think, because there is some, yeah, and that too, gameplays. I noticed that too. Like, there's some screenshots. I've seen that too, where they showed older versions of the game and the new versions of them. And the new versions look better than the older versions. Better textures, better focus, clarity, more things going on in the background. So it really is going to be optimization. It was probably for optimization purposes, but I don't know. I'm not a game developer. They probably had to optimize that scene. Maybe they were hitting frame rate drops when they were playing it with you know, when they put it on the PlayStation. Maybe they hit frame rate drops in that scene, and you know, so there's a lot of things that could change. But whether that's going to influence people's purchasing decisions, review scores, because I saw some people on Twitter going, well, with this kind of Puddlegate going into review scores, and it's like, nah, man, I don't think, because people never played that version. Like, that's the thing. Features get affected by review scores, not reflections and puddles and textures and stuff like that, unless the game looks horrible. Like, it goes from like being like this incredible looking game and it completely looks totally different. It's really features, content, gameplay. Those are the things that transcend into review score previous versions of the game. You know, things that affected, and I got to bring these games up because they're perfect examples of this. Sea of Thieves, State of Decay, might be Crackdown 3. Those things where the game goes through a development cycle and things change, get removed, get affected. That's what influences review scores. Going, yo, I played this game at E3 2 years ago and it was doing this. Now they took this out and now this game is bare bones. That's what we're talking about. That goes into review scores. But puddles and reflections, and then I don't think so. Especially if that's the only place you're going to play it. Yeah, they can say, well, this game was made for PC and ported over to PlayStation, and that's why the PlayStation version doesn't have all the features that, you know, the PC version has. Nope. There's no case there. And that's the power of exclusives. And speaking of power and hardcore, if you own a PlayStation, you are not hardcore. Hardcore bleeds green. You gotta be Xbox owner, because that's where the hardcore people live. That's where they play, according to my good friend Aaron Greenberg. So yesterday when I was tweeting from the clouds, I was in chat from the clouds, Phil and Greenberg were up there with me in the clouds. High above the sky in the clouds. And Greenie's dropping shit like this. They believe the hardcore. They know what their fans want. Listen, I would not be on episode 30 fucking 2 if Greenberg's statement is correct. I would not have this fucking channel. I would not have this fucking microphone if Greenberg was correct in his statement. So I'm putting out there now, they created this. They created this because they did not listen and still do not listen to their hardcore. The only hardcore he gotta be talking about is getting dick in your ass, because that's hardcore, because they've been fucking us for 5 years right now, stringing us along with some carrot ass bullshit. But I would not be here starting this shit if they listen to their hardcore. So whatever data numbers he got, whatever goodwill hunting bullshit they got at their Microsoft meetings, they got to take a nice big eraser and erase all those numbers because that data is feeding them bullshit. Because whatever data he's looking at, it's not right. It's not right because they are not listening at all. They are not giving people what they want. People that only owned Xboxes, like myself, have just abandoned it because it has become a share. It became such a boring place. Boring. Of repackaged bullshit, redone old ass games, and just a very, very boring time. That's right. Andrew said something in the chat. He goes, Xbox fans would rather have dick in their asses than well, when I heard hardcore, man, I was thinking about, oh man, all I heard about is Major Nelson gloves and hardcore fucking. That's what I was thinking. Major Nelson gloves is sticking his finger right up your ass with those white gloves on prostate exams. Because they really like, and I think their reliability on that Xbox hardcore, the people that will buy everything and eat as much bullshit that they could spew from their executive mouths, I agree. The amount of bull, like, and exactly, just like we get on Insomniac and their community manager for like, why don't you admit that shit's wrong? Greenberg is not going to go, yeah, it's fuck, we're done, yo. We all fucking, we'll wrap it up. He's not going to be like that. But I'm just like, don't say because you do an Xbox Fan Fest that you know what the hardcore people want, what the gamers want, what the consumer wants. You don't, because if you did, you wouldn't be in the position that you currently are. You are trying to find ways to permeate the market in all different aspects. And I was triggered when I read that article. And I got his shit right here. And I'll say what he says, because you know what? Who wants to put shit in people's mouths, right? And I don't know if he said this specifically, but they referred to that he was losing 2-1, over 2-1. I don't know if that was interpretation or he really said that. But the customers are more hardcore than the competitors. And I believe they're more hardcore because they deal with much more hardcore fuckery than anybody else. Okay. I noticed a thing from Aaron Greenberg's friends list and the data. So he's going based off his friends list and the data we have available. His friends list. The fuck is Aaron Greenberg's friends list is? Major Nelson, Mike Ybarra, Phil, all other Microsoft employees, I'm sure. So I think that's a very biased party if you're using your friends list to make this call. And whatever data, I guess, attach rates, I don't know. But friends list should be the first thing out the fucking window of Aaron Greenberg's friends list. All right. So that doesn't work. Hardcore players who prefer the best gaming experience. All right. So that wasn't until just November when you released the X, right? Because before that, the Xbox was not known for the best place to play multiplats. It wasn't the best gaming experience. It was the worst one. It was underpowered. And it was under resolution on every friggin' multiplat. Whether that means anything, that is not defined as the, quote, best gaming experience. And I think this is the line that really triggered me. Those who prefer the best gaming experience have always been on our side. From the first Xbox to the 360, now with the One X. See, this is the reason why I go into this stuff. This is the reason why I go into this, because I said this, and yo, like the video, guys. If you like it, share it out there, because I want more people to hear this stuff. This is the reason why they take, and this is what I've said this on so many shit. I've sounded the same fucking broken record on the previous ones. They say this. I said they take those hardcore, those Xbox fans, the ones that have been on their side, they take them for granted. They're like a given. And those are the people that they consistently screw. I was that. That's why I am not a fucking neutral, or whatever the hell these stupid terms are. I am a pissed off Xbox fan. And I like what PlayStation's doing. And I've made that my primary place to play, because they actually look like they give a shit. Just look at the games, the plus games that they gave out. They could have took back. I looked at the games with gold on us. This is a side note. The games with gold that came out was fucking trash. And then you read people, yeah, that's it. There's so many things coming out in September, so Microsoft took it easy this month. And then PlayStation drops Destiny 2 and God of War 3 remastered with a bunch of other fucking like little games. That's not somebody take it easy. And that's somebody who's in first place by a huge lead, by accruing Aaron Greenberg over 2-1 globally. And they're not letting up. They're not getting complacent like Microsoft got complacent. See, when they were kind of winning, they let Sony creep back in with getting unique hardcore games in the PlayStation 3 when Microsoft was playing around with Kinect, playing around with entertainment, trying to, again, expand their market to people who don't give a shit. They were not addressing the hardcore. And what happened is when the 360 stopped and the Xbox came, Microsoft continued that message for entertainment, families, yelling at your TV. And we got some games on okay. But we got the TV and the motion and this and that. It will detect your heartbeat when you're scared and this and your emotions. And Sony just said, here's some fucking games. And the hardcore left. So for him to say the people that stuck between Xbox and 360, I agree. That was huge. But for the Xbox 360 to the Xbox, there were people that jumped on for good faith. They're still around for good faith right now, hoping that you will realize this. But every move you make is chasing the hardcore people away more and more. You not having a solid game this holiday in your Halo, Gears, Forza, new IP, something, you failed your hardcore. Having Lucky's Tales last year, you failed your hardcore. But they stuck with you. They're sticking with you. Have always been on our side. Looking at the numbers, he goes on, and the results of the competition, we have a smaller install base, but the attach rate and sales data for many games is much higher on Xbox. Yeah, because they're lower. Like, if you looked at the multiplats when they used to do them on MPD, the PlayStation 4 version would sell the most out of the multiplats. And it had a higher install base. So obviously, if you're looking at a lower, just take a fraction. If you're looking at a lower denominator and the numerator is kind of getting higher, you're going to get a bigger fraction. You're going to get a bigger percentage. When you are lower install base, the more games hold a higher impact. It's fucking math. Like, it's like, you know, if you have a quarter of something over 1/8 of something. So the one sale over a quarter, 1/4 is a higher than 1/8. It's a bigger piece. So obviously in your data, every purchase of a game on your kind of relative scale is going to hold higher impact because your install base is lower. So this data that you have is nothing more than just biased kind of bullshit. Like it really, you are looking at a smaller install base, so every purchase holds more weight. I don't know if that's understood, but that's kind of what we're looking at. You have 80 million people, and somebody buys something and 10 things, and you have 35 or 40 million people, and those 10 things actually are a bigger percentage than the 10 over 80. So it's skewed data. It's all just hyperbole. It's all just bullshit. It's all a way for him to promote FanFest at Gamescom. That's what it was. This is due to the fact that our user base is made up of more hardcore gamers, and we return to the previous point. It's our relationship with the community that puts us in the position. Yes, because they interact with people on Twitter, they find that holds value. And it does, because some people, rooftop parties, retweeting them, hey, check this out, or retweet from Phil, or like from Phil. Definitely they do a lot more of that than Sony does. And I think it does hold weight in the social media. Like, people think that they're their friends and, that they care about them and things like that. And, they've done some nice things like with Xbox Addict, they've done, those are some real amazing things that they've done. Like, I'm not going to deny them of that. But for him to go that people are more hardcore and we know what they want, that's where it just gets me. And that's where I'm trying to hit at. I'm trying to hit at that. He thinks they're doing a damn good job of knowing what people want. And I'm here to say, no, you're not. And we're going to do, I always like to do, I got 20 people. I always like to do a screen share. I always like doing one of those things. And we're going to do one of those things. Because I got something for you. And this is funny because I actually took this photo when I was just walking around the B&B. Daniel, I was responding to my boy Daniel, who's in the chat right now, who responded, 3 effing new controllers, Jez, just what we needed. This is getting ridiculous. I happen to be at Best Buy. Now, this is, look, August 14th, guys. This is before we got today's news or yesterday's news. Yep. See, I'm not no fucking act. This is what happens. I'm at Best Buy. This is on the shelves. Make this big picture big for everybody to see. All right. Here is the Xbox Elite controller. Now, they're spider wrapped. You want to know why they're spider wrapped? They are still $150. That's why. They're still $150. I don't think they've been on sale once in the last 3 years. This thing came out in 2015. 2015. And look what, wait, let's see. And I know people go, oh, you're taking shots of one store. That doesn't mean anything. All I could talk about is what I see. And this is what I saw. It is on the same shelf as Pie Face. Those Nintendo Switch, this is like surplus shelf. Obviously. Those Turtle Beaches in the corner have fucking wrap on them still. Some incognito, whatever the hell, Impasio, some bullshit steering wheels. They got those discontinued blue, the green and pink Switch controllers. Actually, those were like on sale for like $20 at Walmart. I think they probably are. They're discontinued those. Those for Splatoon. We're gonna explore the picture. The Insignia twin wheel pack. Guys, have you heard of this accessory? The Quick Shot. Holy shit, the Quick Shot. A fucking condom for your PlayStation DualShock. A grip. The biggest accessory of them all. And Best Buy selling Pie Face down at the bottom. And we got 2 rows of the 150 Xbox Elite controller. We know what the hardcore want. The most hardcore people are on Xbox. Well, this is the most hardcore controller, the most expensive controller. And it is not underneath the most hardcore Xbox console. No, it is on the surplus shelf because nobody is buying it because it's still $150. So, Microsoft, we quote Greenberg, we listened, we know we are the hardcore belong on Xbox. We know what they want. They've been with us for the whole time. So let's go sit around a table. 2015. Let's take that controller. Let's give it some sexy name, some Project Washburn, or I should call it Project Wash My Balls. Let me say it again. Project Wash My Balls. And let's announce it today. I want to know how many dicks and how many brains took to come up with this. 3 years later, they decide to make it white and still charge $150. Still. Oh, and it's coming in October. I'm sure Best Buy was fucking thrilled. But Best Buy will not be affected by this. Why, you say, Jez? Why grinds? Why grinds my gears? Why will Best Buy not be affected by this? Because you know what? They're not making it at Best Buy. They are giving it to our good old friends at GameStop and the Microsoft Store. And I'm going to go back to say, so, $150. I didn't think I was sharing my screen. Was I not even sharing my screen the whole time? We're going to go back. You saw what I was talking about. Here's the picture I was talking about. I don't know if you guys have seen that. Let me go back into the chat. There we go. So this was the picture that I was talking about. I think he came up with another thing. There's no picture. All right, yo. So you got a visual of what was going on. Here's the picture. I saved the pitch. Not this fucking goof. Not this picture. What the fuck? This picture. Daniel B's there, and there's the picture. Here's the picture, guys, to show you that I wasn't making that shit up. Here's the picture. Here it is. I took this from Best Buy. We know what the fans want. See in the corner, there's Pie Face, discontinued Switch controllers, the Quick Shot, the Insignia Twin Wheel Pack for Mario Kart that came out last year, some Turtle Beaches in plastic. And I said, exactly. I responded to Dan. Yep, that's exactly what we need. Another $150 controller this holiday. That was August 14th. Microsoft heard me because on the 29th, they show this. The white Xbox controller, Elite. No Bluetooth. No USB-C. No internal battery. Nothing. It does nothing. I'm glad I kept you guys along without showing the photograph. But I was doing a wonderful description of it. So, no Bluetooth, no USB-C, no internal battery. Nothing has changed. It is a white version of the Elite controller. But they know what the fans want because they stuck by them, right? They stuck by them. They stuck by the fans. The fans have been there forever. We could keep giving them all bullshit and they'll still be there because those are our fans. Those are the ones that show up at FanFest. And that's the thing. They take advantage of that. That's an assumption. They're probably like, yeah, there's about 20% of the people that will just live and die by whatever we say. But it's not exciting. Who's running out and buying a white Elite controller for $150 when they didn't even drop the price of the previous one? Over 3 years, they have it. You guys, it wasn't that the black one came out in the spring, or even if the black one came out last year, and the new one comes out, the white one comes out this year. Like, 3 years ago. And they didn't drop the price like $100. Like the Elite controller now $100. It's still in spite of the wrap, it's still $150. Never came out with cool custom pieces. They had third party making like different custom pieces. Those things were like $25, $30 for like your own little like they should just took for your own little like joysticks and stuff like that that had custom games on them. I think there was just a Gears of War one. But no thought, no excitement. It's just that they're cheap, they're uninspired, and it seems like their focus right now, and it seems like also with that Xbox All Access, with the Elite controller, the white one, being carried only in their Microsoft Store and GameStop, and they're only having the Fallout 76 white bundle in the Xbox Store and GameStop. I think about it. Think about it. Where are your Microsoft stores? Where are they? What, like, I think Rand pointed it out. There's not a lot of them. But where are they? Are they standalone? No. The only standalone one is in New York City. And maybe I think there's one in Redmond where Microsoft headquarters is. Where are your Microsoft stores? Where are your Apple stores? They are in malls. Guess who else is in a mall? Best Buy? Some malls. I've been to a lot of Best Buys. Some, very few, have a Best Buy in the mall. They have a Best Buy mobile, not a real full Best Buy store. One in Syracuse does. Been up there. Syracuse, New York, there's a Best Buy attached to the mall. That's why I've been to that one. Not a lot of Best Buys. Not Targets. Targets could be near the mall. I'm talking about Target is in the mall, Christiana Mall. But when you go Microsoft store, who else is in there? Your GameStop is always in a mall. Typically. They are trying to move traffic to their store, of course. But this Xbox All Access, exactly, don't call me Danny. Yeah, they're in malls. The Microsoft stores are in malls. And a lot of these kind of programs and things, they are trying to increase people to walk into their stores. And I could tell you, I've been to a couple Microsoft stores. You compare the foot traffic to an Apple store to a Microsoft store, yo, it is a ghost town. It is scary. The Apple store, it has a security guy at the front. It is like the foot traffic is ridiculous. But Microsoft wants to increase their foot traffic to their store. A lot of these features, a lot of these programs, that All Access, the white Elite controller, only could be found at the store and at GameStop. They're not at Best Buy, Target, Walmart, where a lot of people go for their holiday shopping. Not a lot of people going to the Microsoft store for holiday shopping. They go to GameStop sometimes, but they're in the mall, and there's more foot traffic in the mall. So they are definitely trying to promote their stores, which there's not a lot of them, which is making all this stuff very limiting. And it just seems so, maybe that's why it's so boring, because this is not a big initiative. This Xbox All Access thing, it's not a big initiative. It's the Dell financing program. I've used the Dell finance thing to buy my Vive when Microsoft was selling the Vive and the Oculus. When Microsoft was selling those things and also spewing the bullshit that the Xbox Scorpio was going to use VR, and that we are now selling the Vive in our Windows store and the Oculus in our Windows store. that I went to the Windows store to buy the Vive, going, holy shit, Microsoft is getting behind VR, just to come back a year later when I finish paying it off and Phil Spencer goes, fuck y'all. We're not doing it on the Xbox One X. Yeah, that's what I did. I went to the Microsoft store right after Phil Spencer E3, and Todd Howard with his curly motherfucking hair came on that stage and was like, yo, we are bringing Fallout 4 to the Xbox Project Scorpio bullshit. It's going to be VR. It's powerful for this. I said, oh shit, they're going to do VR. And I went into the Microsoft store that day and went and bought a Vive. And I'm like, look, Microsoft they're pushing VR. They had demos in the front of the store. You could put the Vive on and demo it right in the front. People walking by, they could see all that. What's up, OBJ, Jason Elliott, buddy boy, Stardust, Daniel, he's back, bend the unit. But you go into the store, that demo in the front, people walking by, seeing the Vive. Microsoft was behind VR, and then they just pull out. They pull it out. But I use that Dell thing. It's a financing program. It's not even a credit card. So it's nothing different. But the thing is, that is great. Why don't you make it, if you want to buy an this is the interesting thing. If you don't have the money to buy a $500 machine, you could, I believe, if it's over a certain amount of money, Microsoft will just let you use Dell financing in their store, and you just buy the console and pay over 6 months or a year. I think any purchases over $399 are probably 6 months. Any purchases over $500 are 1 year. You know, Best Buy does those financing, no interest financing programs too. My little thing with this all access thing is, why the fuck do I want 2 years of Game Pass? Why, like, if you're going to buy it for $35, $500 for the console, but then they're kind of forcing you to pay $120 in Xbox Live and $240 in Game Pass. Okay? Like, you're paying a $5. Yes, if you look at it going, I want this, then fine, no problem. But it's sort of like, oh man, you bought a camera, you need a camera bag. You bought a phone, you need to have a case from us. It's like, you bought an Xbox, you need all our services. Well, maybe they just want to take the Xbox, use the free trial, scope it out. People might not want to buy a console and then get over, what is it, $360 in 360 in services, $120 a year in Game Pass. That's $240 in 2 years you're buying up front, 2 years of Game Pass, and 2 years of Xbox Live at the premium price of $60 a year, $120. So why are you shoving $360 worth of your services along with the $500 piece of plastic console that I got to buy? Because I think I could walk into a Microsoft store, use Dell financing. Fuck, I even did it for my PlayStation 4 Pro. I walked into Best Buy, said, no interest financing, $400. Thank you very much. I'll pay this off in 6 months. And I got the console. And then I was able to kind of shop around for I didn't want PlayStation Plus yet. I waited. I wanted to scope it out, see if I liked it, and then did it. I didn't sign up for PlayStation Now the day that I bought the PlayStation. No, I waited till I was like, oh, let me see. They have a good promotion on PlayStation Now for $100 for a year. Like, you don't need all that shit up front. Now, if you want it, that's fine. But I have a problem with committing it for 2 years, though. Like, 2 years is a long ass time to make payments and to be locked into a service. Exactly, OBJ. You know what else? I think you could just go into the store, fill out for Dell financing, and just buy a console. You could do that with a computer. I did it with my Vive. My Vive was 1 year. It was $800. It's 700. I think it was 700. I got it for 700, and I did it for a year. No interest financing through Dell financing, and I had it on auto pay. Done. No interest financing. Didn't get hit with any interest. So I think maybe over $500 you could do it. So you probably could walk into a store right now if you really want a console. You could fill out for a Best Buy card, Target card, Dell financing, and just go buy the console. My problem is, and you'll probably have maybe higher monthly payments than $35 a month, but why do I need 2 years of your services? And my issue is a couple of episodes, I think it was episode 30, I was saying about it was, and I'm not saying this is a horrible thing. I'm just saying that you should know all your options. When everything Microsoft does something and I have to say something, I always hear it's just an option. Well, you know what? To Microsoft, it just seems like options are now like assholes. And we all know about assholes, right? Because I feel like you got so many fucking options. Remember how many options we had in 2013? You could use your hand to move the screen. You could go open and shut with your hands. You could yell at your TV. Oh, well, wait, now we got an option now. Not you don't just yell Xbox now. Now you could say, hey, Cortana. We're not going to do your hands. Oh, we have an option where you could slide it out and you could do snap. Oh, we took that option away. There was so many options that it was never good at the one good thing that I was supposed to do. And it fucked up the games because of all those options and all that variability and the Kinect using the power from the console. They can never get the games to run better or equal to their competition because they put too many options in the fucking box. Yeah, and Dan, you're right. You could finance that stuff anywhere. But when you have so many options, it's hard to kind of make a decision on one. So I'm just telling you your options right now. This Xbox All Access is for a certain customer, and they're going to push it in the Windows store, that the Microsoft store. They're going to push it. And they're going to basically try to and what they're really trying to do is they're trying to give you they're trying to get you locked into their services for 2 years. That's the ultimate. There's no option there. That is the reason why that it's there. Yep, options like assholes. Everybody got one, and they shit all day. They shit talk all day. That's right. Don't call me Danny. But that's the thing. Like the thing, the real take home message of Xbox All Access is to really get you to get locked into their services for 2 years. It's to get a 2-year commitment out of you because they want to keep these prices low. The $10 a month for Game Pass, it's all business. Like this is not the ultimate value in gaming, the best value ever. Phil is like writing it off and not going on vacation because he's giving you all this value. It's all a business. It is all a business. So stop thinking it is more than what it is. It is a way to lock you in for 2 years of their services because they know in their right mind there will be a very few amount of people that would pay $240 today and commit to 2 years of Game Pass. They know that. There will be people that do it, but it's not going to be majority. But if they could string you along for $10 a month, they have better success with that because the entry point is low and hopefully you don't realize you're paying it. But if somebody, just as like somebody said, give me a year of Netflix, it's like, whoa, 100. When you realize how much Netflix is, $14 or $13 a month, add that up times 12, like you look at 130, like that. Yeah, it is a lot. So, somebody thinks of it that way, it is a lot how much you're spending on your subscriptions. Only $5 a month. Well, go you multiply that. It's like 60. Well, $6 a year. Well, I don't think it's worth that. It's different. It's perception. But this is a way for them to get consistency. It's going to be a very small group of people because I said the Microsoft Store does not get a lot of traffic at them. They don't, because they sell a lot of expensive devices. So when you walk into the Microsoft Store, you're not going to go and spend $100 for Johnny. You're going in there and spending minimum $300, $400, $500 because it's all computers. Unless you're buying a mouse or something, which their mice are $80. So when you walk into the store, it's not the premium place that I'm going to buy, I'm buying Johnny something under the Christmas tree. It's a fucking like, yo, this is for the family, y'all. The whole family's getting a fucking computer for $900. Like, it's not, let's go buy a little something for somebody. They don't get a lot of, and you see the stores between the Apple Store and their store, like they don't not get the traffic at all. But it's definitely about getting you to get commitment. And I think, I don't know if Boomstick said it or Rand said it, or I think it was Rand, because Rand and Jez, like those guys, their latest podcast was excellent because they really kind of broke that down, exactly what it is. Like Microsoft needs to be appealing to developers. They want more third party into their Game Pass. They want more development on their UWP, which wherever the hell happened to that thing. They want more mind share, which they have to get because they are not getting that much mind share, in the sales aspect of it compared to the competition. So they need to entice, they need numbers, they need the data. And by getting people more committed, we have, I know Game Pass is only monthly and we could do it 3 months. I understand, but it comes and goes as it goes. It really is to get some consistency with their subscriptions so they could then say, well, we got a committed, 100,000, 500,000 people on this service right now. And that's the game that they're playing. So if you want to know if Microsoft is making games, and I think I'm referring exactly to what everybody is saying in chat, Daniel and OBJ, Microsoft's playing the game of service. That is what they're playing. And what I've been saying on every single one of these shows is, if you just make great games, the market builds itself. The services work. The people, mindshare come. The developers come. Everything comes together when you build a gaming console. And hey, guess what? You make some great, unique games for that console. And I always use the examples because it is slapping everybody in the face. God of War made people buy PlayStations, made people play the games. Maybe it didn't make you sign up for PlayStation Plus, but it got you in their ecosystem. They were not just going out there going, please, we got so many ways you could buy a PlayStation. Just buy one. You could subsidize it. You could buy a white one. You could buy a black one. You could buy the best value in gaming that doesn't do 4K upscaling. Oh, no, it does do 4K upscaling. We just don't talk about it anymore with the S. And then the X that does enhancements on certain games that we have a list on our website. They just said, here's an amazing game. And now they're going to do it again with Spider-Man. And people are going to come to it. And while you're there, you might sign up for PlayStation Plus. They might. But if you just make great games and focus on your development and making quality content and not worried about the services and not worried about how to keep people engaged with like trickling out content a la Sea of Thieves style, if you just make a great game, people will come. Like if Sea of Thieves was an 80 and had all content and was an amazing, pirate game with fishing and exploratory and open missions and a campaign and some co-op thrown in and maybe some horde modes with enemies, and it's like a real kind of cartoony pirate simulator, we would be talking a different tune now. Because that would, and then they release some big content in the fall for it. That would be a whole different story. Instead, it came out to ho-hum reviews, no content. They're adding stuff now, but breaking things because they're trying to add content. They broke Kraken. They broke his tentacles. Now they got some sort of, I just saw the latest tweet now. Now you can put your spyglasses on your crotch. I don't know what the fuck that feature is. You have like a spyglass dick or something like that. I guess the hardcore want that, I guess. I don't know. But it all makes sense. And that's where it's like, I feel like if you have a bullseye, you're playing darts, and the middle is the core, and it's the answer. Yeah, I have no clue. I look at my tweets. I think I just responded. I said it's becoming a porn service now. That's a service as a game. I don't know what the fuck feature that is, but I don't know if it's intended. Who knows if it's a glitch? I don't know. It's a crapshoot. Again, it's an option. You could use it on your eye or put it on your dick. You never know. It's an option. You want your spyglass dick or you want your spyglass on your eye? Who knows? But if it's a bullseye, Microsoft is doing everything they can do to avoid the bullseye. It's like just throwing dots at a board and just going around what the real answer is. The real answer is you got to make quality, unique content for your device that you're trying to sell. You will not need to have to subsidize that bullshit. People will buy it for its face value. You would not have to convince somebody to buy an X for $35 a month. They would buy it for $500 if you had unique, exclusive content that was amazing games for that system. People they're buying Spider-Man. Sony doesn't have to come out there and go, you could buy Spider-Man console for $20 a month if you want. They don't have to do that. People are going to pay $400 and they're going to pay probably fucking more than that because it's going to be hard to find because it's bundled with a game that people want. That's what I mean. People want the 500 million sell console because it looks awesome, but also, too, there's content on that PlayStation that people want. So you're not just getting a pretty $500 million version of the PlayStation. You are getting a console that's capable of playing unique games that are excellent, highly rated, universally acclaimed. It all makes sense. So stop being around the bush and trying to figure out all these fucking cockamamie, strange-ass ways to repackage bullshit. Just invest and make games. And I'm not talking about go and buy fucking quadruple, quintuple A game studios and tell me it takes 3 years. You could go out there and make deals. That checkbook's open. You should be locking down exclusive games right now for next spring, making games for the players, for the hardcore that stood by you all the time. This is who you need to address. This is what you need to do. And then the services will come. People will sign up for Game Pass because those great games that people bought at first will now roll into Game Pass. And now the people who could do that model will absorb those amazing games. But when you take a shit game that nobody really fucking bought and then roll it into Game Pass, that game is still shit. You're just handing off this shit. That's what I mean. Miyamoto said a good game is forever. An amazing game is forever. And guess what? Because that game is amazing, 5-10 years from now, motherfuckers are going to want to play that game again. But if you release a shit game now, repackage it in Game Pass, fine, and then make it backwards compatible with your Scarlet, 10 years from now, nobody's going to be sitting around saying, oh my God, that Sea of Thieves, it was a fucking gem. People make, oh yeah, that game was a fucking train wreck. But when you're sitting around your table and you're fucking gray and your kids are teenagers, yo, that God of War, when I played it, it was amazing. You guys should go play it. It lasts forever. And whatever way you'll be able to play God of War in the future, whether it be streaming, whether it be on your fucking ceiling, in your fucking windows, in your fucking car, it doesn't matter. The game will still be there. And it will be a great game. Why the fuck do you think an NES Classics flies off the shelves? A Super Nintendo flies off the shelves? Because those games were great. Those games were cherished. Those games were good back then. And they hold that nostalgia. That's what nostalgia is. The game lasts forever. A rushed game dies. You could put it in Game Pass. Give it for $1. Give it for fucking free. Nobody is going to want. It's still not a good game. So what Microsoft needs to do is really make a good game. Don't make a game now that satisfies some agenda for some service that you're trying to promote. That's what's happening with Crackdown. They're trying to promote this cloud fucking agenda, and the game is in development hell. And don't give me the bullshit that it's for polish, because it's not at PAX West, and it wasn't at Gamescom, where the fucking developers are in Europe. It's not there. And when's it going to be? They're going to show, when they show Surface Book 3 in October with the Microsoft announcement, they're going to show Crackdown. It's not going to be no gaming convention, I don't think. I think from what we heard is that it's going to be some sort of, I think Jez Corden was saying that it's really going to be some sort of like new hardware for their PC, their Surface line. Yeah, TGS, that's where they're going to show Crackdown. Yeah, Terry Crews, I can see him just running around Japan. You scare the shit out of everybody yelling and screaming at them. Yeah, right. They wouldn't know what to do with that. But it's like, don't make games now for this agenda. Just make a great game. And I think the Xbox core and the ones who have been there the longest realize that Microsoft has dropped the ball extremely on that aspect to make a great game. And now I'm not saying every game has to be the God of War. Make me something that I don't expect. But don't try to resell me something I played 5 years ago and it was broken. And that game 5 years ago, 4 years ago, was of games that were 5 and 10 years before that. And then tell me, oh, here it is, get hyped. I'm not hyped to play Halo 1. I played it 4 different times. I played it the first time on the original Xbox. I played the Anniversary Edition. Then I played on Master Chief Collection. And now what? I'm supposed to come back in 2018 going, oh my goodness, they made it a higher resolution. I got to play it again? But you want to know what? It goes to my point. It was a great game, so people will play it. That's what I mean. So Microsoft needs to play it. They need to they need to make the games now, so in the future we want to play those games. Nobody wants to play Sea of Thieves remastered. Nobody wants to play State of Decay 2 remastered. Nobody wants to play Quantum Break remastered. Nobody wants to play those games. But that's why Microsoft has to make new experiences. But you can't keep repackaging the old stuff and resting on your laurels and resting on the Xbox of used to been or has been. And that's all they've been doing. Hey, that Elite controller you liked 3 years ago, well, now it's in white. Why don't you just make it new for the new holiday? You got an Xbox One X console. Fuck, why don't you just bundle it in with the X and call it an Elite X for $500, $600, $550? I don't know. Subsidize the controller. It's the same controller. Or why don't you bundle the Xbox One X with the old Elite controller while you sell the new white one? Like, do something. How can you expect people to be foolish enough to pay $150 again just for a fresh coat of paint? And you didn't fix anything. And there were quality complaints about the first one. I don't know. I don't understand it. Stop repackaging old shit. And that's kind of what Game Pass does. It's like it takes games and it's like, you remember these games? They're repackaging Game Pass, but it's $10 a month. And I just feel like Microsoft is just recycling. And you know what's interesting? I don't know where I heard it or where it was. Maybe it was in one of my business classes. But like, it was basically like when a fast food company like has a chicken, like a chicken nugget. It's like, hey, we could put the chicken nuggets in wraps and we can make chicken wraps. We could take the chicken nugget and put it in a salad and have a chicken salad. We could take the chicken nugget and just sell the chicken. It's like multi-purpose for one chicken nugget. And I feel that's what Microsoft does. It's just taking whatever shit they could scrape up and just kind of repackaging it or kind of like distributing it and making it look new, or it's in new service, so it's a tied into a thing. And it really, it really kind of is just recycled old stuff. And for people who have been around, who stuck by Aaron Greenberg's side for all those things, like Xbox side, not his side, but like through Xbox, it's kind of long in the tooth, man. It's like, yo, been there, done that. And what you telling me? You bought studios to make games? Well, what about the other fucking 5 studios? Like, what the hell is 343? You spent all that time for 343 to fix Master Chief Collection? Like, is that really what they've been working on? And to make Halo Dave and Buster's? Like, that's what they've been doing? Oh, they're making a new engine for Infinite? Well, where's the content? Like, where are the expansions? Where's the DLC? Where is all this shit? How can you leave people hanging? Microsoft used to throw everything but the kitchen sink at the consumers during the holiday season. All they got is Forza. And they don't even have the third-party marketing deals. They don't have Red Dead Redemption. Now, if Sony releases a Red Dead console, holy shit. They don't have Call of Duty. They don't have Red Dead. They got Battlefield 5, which is getting destroyed in the fucking news. Shit's free now because they made a mistake. I don't know. They might be free. Apparently, the Battle Royale is not going to be there on day one, and it gets fucking delayed now to November. You want to know how many fucking people are going to cancel their Battlefield pre-order and probably buy something else? Battlefield is in a fucking world of shit right now. And nonetheless, I'm not super interested in it because it's World War II. I'm like, I just did World War II with Call of Duty. I did World War I with Battlefield. Like, I don't know. You did World War II with Battlefield. It was called Battlefield World War II, Battlefield 2. And the nomenclature is all of Battlefield 5, but it's World War II with Battlefield. Like, it's just, they're all over the place. EA, again, after that Battlefront 2 Star Wars thing, they killed. How can you fuck up Star Wars? EA found a way. The most revered franchises, EA and fucking EA and George Lucas messed up Star Wars. Like, how could, like, it's just amazing. You got the Star Wars game, the best, all the stuff there, all the generations, and you managed to mess up Battlefront 2. Because you were trying to create an agenda. Instead of just making a great game, which it was pretty cool, good, but you put an agenda. You put loots and bullshit boxes in there and pay to win bullshit models, and you ruined the game. And that's the stuff that I see Microsoft doing. They're taking games and they're just like trying to put like longevity plans and how to get more money out of the gamers. Gamers, you'll get a few people that will pay for this stuff, but you cannot ruin the game for the sake of your service. And then when I said last week with Bat Booty stuff, where he's like, well, we're looking at studios that 50 to 100 people, and we want them to be, to put content in Game Pass and stuff like that. Like, we're out. And, shout out 28 people watching. Thank you. Hit the like button, subscribe. I'm trying to wrap up my rant, but I'm just going off on just the major point that I have over all my things is all this bullshit that I talk about and all this stuff that I rant about. It frustrates me because it loses the focus of what they should be focusing on. You make a games console and you make games for it, and the other shit will come. Like that's the bottom line. Even when Sony early the gen was delaying stuff, they still made it about games. That was the reason why they dominated this generation, because Microsoft was talking TV and Sony was talking games. Now Sony's still talking games and Microsoft's now talking about services. Like, when is it going to be about games? You think because your services involve games, just like TV involved using a gaming console, is that kind of the same? Is that like, if I'm watching TV on a game console, then that's kind of like synonymous, Microsoft? Or should I be playing a game on the game console? Same thing with Nintendo. And the thing is that they're seeing the success with the Switch and the PlayStation, because you can't watch Netflix on the Switch. Like, that's not a priority. Nintendo's trying to get their online up there. And Nintendo's making games. And the PlayStation, why is everybody else making games and having success in sales and having dominating things and selling and MPDs? And, you know, what was the other thing that I was looking at too? What was the other thing that I was looking? I had something here. Where was it? It was the top game. It is that picture. If you look at my Twitter, you can see that picture. Yeah, I'll share my screen because I don't know if you guys jumped on when I was talking about that. Here is the picture. The fuck is it? Yeah, I'll show it. This is the new update. I don't know what it's doing, but Engadget, and it's not Engadget, but Eurogamer covered it. Here, I'm gonna share my screen. See if these latest update from Eurogamer. See if these latest update inadvertently gives players spyglass dongs as well. As well as a load of other intentional stuff. So I got to read that article. I just saw that right before I got on, but yeah, there you go. Where is the other thing here? I wanted to see. There was something where they showed the list of the top games. I think it was Far Cry was the top one. I forget. It was Far Cry was the top one, but you know, Mario Kart was up there, and that's why I show you that picture. But Mario Kart was up there, and things like that. And then the thing is like Sea of Thieves. None of Microsoft. There's no Microsoft exclusive at all on it. At all. So this whole like Game Pass does the miracles. Like, I think that it was a little premature to start saying how Game Pass was automatically increasing sales. I just think that Xbox, the core that Aaron Greenberg said, was just waiting for a new game, that they bought whatever Microsoft came out. And that was Sea of Thieves and State of Decay 2. Like, they were thirsty. They wanted these games to justify probably the console that they just purchased in November, or the console that's been sitting under their TV for the last 4 years. And if Microsoft releases content, you should buy it because you have the Microsoft product, right? This is what I mean. People bought the games because they wanted a game for the system. Like, it's very simple. And it's just, that's the thing that, you know, I just see so much news, so many Twitter things just hyping up what we like. It's good. Yay for Xbox All Access. Yay for Game Pass. Yay. Yay. But it gets a little yay because it's not solving the ultimate problem. And that's the problem that we're just going to sit here and wait for. And it just frustrates me because you see success with your competition doing this, but you are not doing it. You know? You spent Gamescom talking about the PUBG controller, the Halo arcade cabinet, multi-plat games, but you didn't show Crackdown 3. You didn't show Below, another exclusive. I don't give a fuck if it's like AAA, single A. You didn't show Below. You didn't show Ashen, ID program games. You showed Tomb Raider. You showed games, games that people could play elsewhere on your Xbox show. Why? Because they are running on an X. I just don't understand it. You have a forum. You should be trying to talk about Crackdown. You should get hands on Crackdown. That game is going to be trouble. That is it's just everything that I just find from them. And then you go back to my Twitter. I got the fucking Sammy Sweetheart from Jersey Shore with the fucking flipping out a hand when like the controller thing is out of control. That's probably why I should name this podcast. The controller is out of control. Like it is comical now. Like it was comical with bowl controllers, and it is just ridiculous now. Like it is just out of control. Every week there's a new controller. Every week. And these things are $60, $70. Like I understand there's a high margin on accessories, but man, they do a Turtle Beach partnership with a $250 controller. I thought they partnered with Lucid Sound, where that one got delayed. That's supposed to come out last year. I think it came out. Did it come out this summer? The LS35, I thought, for Lucid Sound. Like they're just partnering with headphone manufacturers. Like they're not making their own unique accessories. They don't believe in any kind of exclusive ship. People, this Project Washburn. People thought it was a keyboard and mouse support. People thought it was going to be the Elite 2. And it turns out to be a white Elite control, the same thing from 3 years ago. Like, how disappointing is it? And this is not the first time. This is the 20,000th time of something that was teased, was hyped. People thought more than what it was, and it comes out to be worse than what it is. Like a Forza card, right? Oh, Forza card. Oh, maybe like Mod Nation. Maybe like wow, Daniel, is it the LS35 XL? That got announced last year, around before this time, like over a year ago, to come out next October, and now it got delayed again. What's amazing is that was Microsoft's like LS, that big partnership that Lucid Sound was gonna do. And then now they got that Turtle Beach Pro wired controller for $250. That's white. They announced this week. That's delayed again. I tell you, how can it get delayed on these fucking headsets? I have no clue. Lucid Sound's been having some issues with quality control too. They have good headsets though. They have good. I like the LS40s and stuff like that, but I thought they had some issues with some of the LS. Maybe that's what delayed it. I have no clue. But why does that take so long? I have no clue. Meanwhile, Sony has their first party lineup. The Platinums, the Golds. They redid the Golds. It's nice when you have like first party accessories. They work. Wireless chat, adjusting the thing. Like it's nice. How can Microsoft not do it? They're so focused on accessories. Like again, the bullseye. The Bulls. Let's do everything but what we need to do. Like, come on. Like you want Elite? Why don't you make some Elite? Everybody thought there was going to be like an Elite headset to go with the Elite controller. Everybody thought the X was going to be bundled with the Elite. Yeah, I had both of them, the LS30s and the 40s. I thought they were great. They're like metal. They even look cool like without using games for them. But they're hard to find. Like, now they got the LS20s. I think they're the wired ones for the Switch and just for regular stuff. But yeah, I don't know why that took so long. Over a year delay for those headphones. That was a partnership they announced last year. And now they got Turtle Beach one. Like, they just throw everything against the wall, see what sticks. Like, I don't get it. And I just feel like we just go around and around in a circle, around and around and around. And, and they keep putting they're repackaging old stuff. They want you to get excited about Master Chief, get excited about Quantum Breaking Game Pass. Like, Game Pass is not for me right now. Game Pass will be for me if they start getting new games in it, and you get almost like what EA Access was, where you get the new games like 5 days early or something like that. That's Game Pass for me, because everything in Game Pass I pretty much have. And what's crazy about it is that I haven't made an Xbox purchase game in a long time. Like, I've done Game Pass to play their new games, but since I have not purchased games of Game Pass, still Game Pass does not appeal to me because there's a lot of games in there that either are very kind of low, kind of like little like throw-ins, or ones that are really that I have already. Like, it's really not a good balance of new stuff. Like, this month they have nothing new launching in it. Like, they had the Vermintide in it, but did that take off? Like, Vermintide launched in Game Pass. I saw people playing it a day or two in the beginning when it launched, and in October, in September, and last month in July, and Vermintide when that came out, the Warhammer, whatever. And like, you know what? It didn't take off. Like, it was a multiplayer, 4-person. Like, I don't know. Like, Game Pass, did it give it success? Did I'm sure a lot of people downloaded it to try it because it was in Game Pass. You know, I don't know how that dev gets paid. I don't know how that works and if that's successful. But that's the other problem with Game Pass, is that you're getting a bunch of games. There's a lot of games in there. It's going to be very challenging for a game to kind of like take off, because you get that kind of, when you get 6 games, like, hey, let me try them all. And you don't have that investment that if you purchase the game, that you're going to go and I'm going to complete it, or I'm going to play this to the end, because it's like, hey, I'll play a little bit of this. And, oh, I got 6 other games they gave me for Game Pass. Oh, and I got all these subscribed. You're going to kind of do the Netflix, the binge gaming, and you're just going to play a little bit of everything. So it's going to be a little bit of a challenge to see a game really like launch and take off, like as if it was like releasing in retail. You know, and you have people actually buying the game specifically. But you know what? We'll see. They're definitely going all in with Game Pass. Access is a way to get everybody locked in for 2 years of services. And they're just trying to get, they kind of remind me like a little bit like a cable company, like a little bit like Comcast, a little bit like AT&T and Verizon in the early days before T-Mobile shook them the fuck up. Like, they kind of remind me a little kind of like, well, here's your triple play, but I don't want the phone. Oh, well, if you don't want the phone, you're going to pay more money just for your cable and your TV. But I don't use the phone. Well, triple play is a good deal. You got to get it bundled. It's like, I don't want it bundled. I just want what I want. Didn't we learn that from TV and these services like Sling TV inside that? People don't want everything bundled. People want to choose what they want. That's why All Access, it's nice, but it needs some customization. Like, let me just buy the box. I don't want to subscribe to you. I want to try it out. Let me play a free game. I don't know if I like this. And especially if I'm committed for 2 years, that in 3 months from now, I don't want this anymore. I got to pay the remaining $800. Like, you know, I'm going to be sitting, you know, that's the way it works. And, or if you miss a payment, you get finance on top of it. You miss your $35 payment, you get interest charged on it. That's how no interest financing works. But if you are in 6 months and you're like, yeah, you know what, this console's not for me, I want to return it, you can't return it. You could get out of it, but guess what you're paying? The remaining money on the console. Oh, and you're going to pay the remaining money on the 2 services that you're not going to use for the next year and a half. That's where they get you, because you already bought 2 years of these services. Like, you really want to commit 2 years? Maybe next year you're not playing online that much. Well, guess what? You just bought another year of Xbox Live. Maybe Game Pass doesn't have the content for you, or maybe all the unique content that Microsoft promised, like Crackdown this year, and now it got pushed to this year. Everybody who subscribed in January waiting this year for Crackdown, oh, that got delayed to next year. Well, those are all paid subscribers now that got to re-up next year. So these delays are cost money too, because if you're like, well, Microsoft first party, you don't know beyond Crackdown. Like, you know, well, we got Gears, I guess, right? But it's really kind of, you know, you're committed for it. And it's just kind of a little sleazy. It's a little sleazy. And, you know, I know it's an option. It's not the main way. It is a way to give that offer to people who don't want to do that. But you're also getting a 2-year commitment. And you know, with cell phones, how those 2-year commitment works, and all that other things change. You lose your job, you don't want to be paying $35 a month. Well, guess what? You're locked into it now. Now you got to pay it outright. So, or you keep paying your monthly payments. It's credit. You know, it is what it is. It's nice. It's an option, but still, I think it's an option great if you just buy the console for that thing. The fact that they're rolling in $360 of services to it, maybe choose one of those services. Do I need live and Game Pass? Maybe I don't want to play online. Let me just give me Game Pass. And then for the people who already own Xboxes, give them the option to bundle it. If they're going to pay it anyway, let them bundle the two services together. Why are they paying $60 a year if they don't shop around and $10 a month? Just make it $15 a month and go. Or something along those lines. Make it a combo. Make it for the, the core that follows you around. Like, but again, it's all just weaseling services stuff. And I'm playing Fire Pro Wrestling. Just to throw a curveball. PC and PlayStation exclusive. Console exclusive. Console launches, what the fuck you call it. All I know is that the only console you can play Fire Pro Wrestling on is a PlayStation. And then Dragon Quest is on Tuesday. And then Spider-Man's on Friday. And we got White Elite Controller, Game Pass games, and not to mention Destiny 2 that they gave for free on PlayStation, a Destiny 2 and God of War 3. Like, and then you look on Microsoft news in the last week, and we got Elite Controller, a white one, a white bundle, horrible games with gold games, and some decent Game Pass games of old games, though. No new launches, but at least Onrush is in there. I guess that's good. But that studio, they kind of laid off everybody, and that game is kind of just sitting there now. I don't know what's going on with the season pass. I think they're waiting for a PC version, but Onrush is a great game. I liked it, but it's very kind of like you're going to play it for about an hour or two, and then you got it, and you move on. Like, there's really nothing. There's no longevity to it. Like, I had it. We played it a lot. My son and I, we played it a lot for a few days, and then it was kind of, yep. Then after that, it was like, nah. And then when I realized too is that they were throwing bots in, and there wasn't a lot of people playing it online. It was just It was just AI stuff, and there's no race. Like, it's just crashing and taking out people. But it's a cool game. It's good for the Game Pass. But again, it has no future really. It's done. They laid off Evolution. So I don't know. But yeah, I went off on a whole thing with the Elite. Onrush was good. I liked it. And it's good for Game Pass. Like, the one thing I do have to say about Onrush going to Game Pass is, like, that's a nice turnaround time. If they do a couple of months and then some new third-party games going to Game Pass after a month or two, that's something that's cool, because maybe you'll be playing some games and then you'll go into that and then here comes the games that you missed out a couple of months ago. That'll be great for the holiday. I'll tell you that. If they could get some of those guys, like, Assassin's Creed after comes out October or whatever, and then December or January, Assassin's Creed that came out for the holiday shows up in Game Pass. That's a start. It's a start. So if they can start doing more of that, then it might be more appealing to those who buy a lot of games and play a lot of games. It's close. Maybe you're not going to get it on launch, but in a month or two, it shows up in Game Pass. I like that. I thought that was good on them. Quantum Break's long overdue. And, Master Chief Collection, that's great. They did give it away for free with Halo 5, but, it was a good month. But there needs to be some balance. Like, Games Gold can't be shit, and then Game Pass be decent, and then Game Pass be not that great, and then Games of Gold be good. Like, either bring them together or do something. It's very confusing. And it's like you almost got to spend $15 to $20 a month to try to get some decent games out of them. And then that's where Sony's kind of swooping in and going, guys, included in your PlayStation Plus that you're paying for, we're going to give you great games. So you're paying for one service and you're getting great games along with that service. With Microsoft, it's like, I got to buy two services, and hopefully between the two of them, I'll get some good games. See, that's what I mean. Too many options. It's too much stuff. You pay PlayStation Plus. In addition to my online, I'm getting great games. I got Mafia 3 last month. I'm getting Destiny 2 this month. And what a move. The content comes out next week. So for $40 with your base game that you just got for free with all the DLC too. Not even a year later, and you pay $40 and you just got the brand new Destiny content. And thanks to PlayStation Plus. Like, that's a move, man. That's a move. You know, trying to get people to sign up for a year of Xbox Live Gold and giving some trash games with gold games, that's not a move. Like, that doesn't make somebody run out and go, you know what? Those are some good games this month. I think I'm going to re-up my online gameplay, like my Xbox Live. Like, that's not a good move. So, like, you know, like that's what I mean. Like, be good. You know, do some moves, Microsoft. Like, if you really want to sell these services, it all comes down to the games and the content. So, I've always been saying, every single show, it's all about the content. Game Pass, your subscriptions will come. And I said it, Netflix, Hulu, all those places have exclusive content that people want to watch. They will subscribe. But you cannot get people to subscribe because they're an Xbox fan. That is going to dry up real quick. And I think you're seeing that. Maybe that's why you're using that Microsoft kind of Dell financing thing. Maybe that's why, you know, you're trying to promote this gamepad. Like, maybe that's why you're doing some of the moves, because that Xbox core is drying up right now. And now it's the people who just would blindly follow you, like Aaron Greenberg said. The motif of this show, there's a core of Xbox people that always were with us. Well, I think that group is drying up right now, and you got to explore other people, because they will only buy as much as they can buy, but that stops. You only could buy so much on good faith. Thanks, Jason Elliott. I know I ran forever. I gotta stop. I know what I gotta do. I gotta put a fucking timer up or something like that to say, cut it out. Because I'll go on, I forget who I'm talking to and stuff. And then somebody says something in the chat and I start talking about more stuff. But I know I always look for these kind of shows. It's funny because I always look for somebody just to talk while I'm driving. So I don't like listen to music, like just like long shows. And it's like, I hate when there's like a 3-minute episode that just recaps some news that I read before I got in the car. Like, it's funny because like, it's like, I just put it on, set it and forget it. Just start talking about games, talking about just shit and go. And it's funny that, you know, but thanks. I appreciate you coming out listening. But I'm actually wrapping up. You know, I'm going to start repeating myself after a while. So I want to thank everybody for, you know, really coming out. And, you know, I had like 25 viewers and 26. I want to thank you so much. Like, you know, I really appreciate it. You know, like, share the video. You know, I'm really, I appreciate everybody's support. You know, I just tell my opinion on how it is. And, I appreciate it, Burgundy. Thank you. You know, just, yeah, that's why I have my drink here, because I got a drink because my throat hurts. But, yeah, I want to thank everybody. You know, this is, again, my opinion, and I had to catch up on some stuff. I wasn't on the show last night, so I wanted to definitely use this opportunity to try to give my reflection on the latest news. And, yep, it just stays simple. Make great games, and everything else will just follow in. So, you know, have some exciting stuff. Don't take, you know, these little ho-hum announcements and turn them into something that's big. Yeah. Oh, thanks, man. You know what? I might use SoundCloud more often, because YouTube, the way they recommend and all that other stuff, like, you know, it's so weird. Like, I'm going to get killed, like, trying to find some content and driving, because they just give me all this good crap. Like, I subscribe to so many people, and like, I find out they do shows and stuff, and it doesn't really let me know that stuff. Like, YouTube has been really kind of crappy with that stuff. But thanks. I'm going to try to use SoundCloud for that stuff. But I want to thank everybody coming out. You know, like, share video, follow me over on Twitter. Again, Jez7780. I appreciate the support. And again, this has been what grinds my gears. And I appreciate all my grinders out there. And what is this? Thank you, man. Wow, that's cool. Holy crap. I know what fourth word is. I don't know what Decatur is. Oh man, thank you. Well, I appreciate the support, guys. And again, my fellow grinders out there, thank you for tuning in. I'll talk to you guys soon. I'm out.